Well, hello DirtFish Rally friends. It's Wednesday evening here in the service park in Zagreb, and we're outside the Hyundai service area with Craig's car sitting there on display. And do you know what's really lovely? It is Wednesday evening, but people just already gathering in the service park just to pay their quiet respects to Craig. Now, Wednesday evening for us, it's normally all about team talk where we catch up with the drivers. We did catch up with a few drivers this evening, and you'll hear those interviews just very shortly. Just to let you know, we will be bringing you a tribute video to Craig later on during the weekend. The drivers will be giving us their thoughts, but we're going to save that until after the rally. So right now, let's just hear from one or two of our top drivers about this weekend's Rally Croatia. Kalle, we're back in Croatia. Last time we were here, we watched perhaps one of the greatest single-stage performances we've ever had the pleasure to see. Just talk us through your memories of that final stage last year, and try to explain to us your mindset as you went into and then through the stage.
Yeah, last year was definitely really good for us. We had a great pace the whole weekend, basically opening the road in the tricky conditions, and yeah, then the final fight was really tight on the last stage. But yeah, I have a good memories from the race from last year. It's the event which I like. It's quite fast, tarmac rally. Definitely really tricky. A lot of cuts and mud all the time. Last year the condition was horrible. It looks that this year also gonna be really tricky after a lot of rain.
How much difference is that going to make to you? As you say, you were first on the road here last year and you made the most of it. How much difference is your road position going to make this year?
I think after the rains and what we saw on the recce, it seems that for sure it will be again best to start first because it will be quite wet and muddy cuts. So for sure the first car will be gaining the most, but hopefully we will not be too far back and we can stay in the fight even starting third. So I think still will be tricky for the guys behind all the time.
Obviously, this is the second time we've been here with these Rally 1 cars. You made the most of your road position last year and then that final stage, which we all enjoyed. In terms of the approach this year to the whole rally, with your learnings from last year, will there be much of a difference in terms of the approach, maybe the setup of the car, the strategy? Will there be any difference from last year?
I think we cannot really do much difference than last year. The car felt good on the test. Definitely we had a really dry and a bit higher grip test than what we are going to see in the rally, but hopefully yeah, we are in a good pace with the car and the plan is the same. Everybody goes flat out from the start, so I think you're going to do much more.
Going back to that final stage, I did watch it again yesterday and it was just it seemed moment after moment after moment, but you kept going, you kept pushing. Is that as close to the limit as you have been on a single stage? And are you prepared to go that far again this time to win the rally?
Of course, you always try to do that if you need to do, but yeah. I also watched it after like 1 year. The onboard, it looks crazier than I remembered. But yeah, for sure it looks that it's all over the place, but it's the cross tires just make it look quite twitchy, and it's not moments after moments all the time. It's still in control in some places at least. So we try to do the same this year to hopefully no need to push crazy like that, but of course I hope we can be in the finning pace.
Best of luck this year.
Thank you.
Seb, Rally Croatia, it's thrown up some drama. It's only been in the championship for 2 years, but my goodness me, we remember the first time we came in that amazing battle with Elvin. And then I'm sure you watched from home last year, the incredible final stage. Why is it? Why does this rally give us such drama?
Well, it's challenging roads and also at this time of the year often challenging weather in there. So you have two ingredients to spice up a rally, and I think last year I was happy to not be here, to be honest. It was incredibly hard weather and rain, fog, so that's not really the condition anybody enjoy, I believe. But it offers some drama, a lot of action. Regarding this weekend, obviously I will hope that there is not so much drama and more like a good fight between the top guys. That will be the best. But yeah, we had already challenging conditions during recce with rain, a lot of mud on the road already. So I think the ingredients are still there. So let's see what's come out.
You talked a lot in Monte Carlo and as well in Mexico about the need to avoid punctures, to manage your drive, not just to look after the tyres, but to avoid punctures in particular. Now, first on the road is maybe the best position to be, probably the best position to be, but you're still going to have to manage that puncture risk. How do you go about doing that?
Yeah, it's it's difficult because the amount of cut here is huge, and there is not so many you can avoid. You kind of forced to go in there because the roads are narrow and you need to follow the line. So yeah, it will be a parameter this weekend. Being first on the road will offer you the chance on the first pass to avoid some of the more tricky one, let's say, but the rally is long, and then if it goes well, then on Saturday you're starting at the back of the pack, and then you have not so much chance to decide your line anymore, and that's the moment where it becomes more tricky. So yeah, we'll see. I try to note as much as I could every rocks, every sharp edge that I've seen, but at some moments, like I said, there is some we'll have to face, and hopefully we won't be unlucky.
Yeah, fingers crossed. You know, we didn't expect to see you here this year. It has been a remarkable start to the year for you. 2 wins, and your tarmac form is incredible looking back to last year. You just mentioned earlier on that maybe the decision to come here was more to do with the team. Why? Why have they asked you to come here, Seb? Are they worried more about Hyundai this year, perhaps?
I don't know. I think we definitely consider our challenger a lot, like the other team. The competition is there, so of course everything in the thinking is has to be optimized. So for sure, looking a bit of the calendar, yeah, they were thinking about this one, and let's say in one way I had nothing against as well. You just mentioned my recent form on tarmac, so and now especially as I'm in the lead of the championship, it shouldn't be bad either to start in front. So yeah, somehow it makes a lot of sense to be here, and let's try to make the best of it.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Rally Croatia, we've only seen a couple of editions of this rally, but both of them have been remarkably exciting. Ott Tänak was right at the centre of it last year. Can he be in the fight this year?
Well, I think, as you said, we've seen it's a really tricky rally. Hopefully the weather conditions are going to be a bit better than what we've probably seen the last couple of years. But yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Don't get me wrong, I think we've still got a bit of work to do to get the car to how Ott really wants it. But I think he can definitely be in fighting at the sharp end.
It's quite interesting, Malcolm, because a lot of what I'm reading is perhaps suggesting that Ott is looking for a little bit of inclement weather. Maybe he's looking for conditions to be a little bit testing, because that's one of his strengths. You're competing under those conditions.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously he's got a great weather guy, which we're obviously very happy to have in the team as well. So if it is, we would definitely feel in a strong position. But I think I would just like to see a nice, clean, dry rally, a good battle with all the guys really battling it out.
So we're round 4 now of the season. Where are we? End of April. So Ott's been with you for nearly 4 months now. What can you tell us about the changes that you have been able to make? We know that you're very, very limited in what you can do, but what have you been able to do?
It's a lot of detailed stuff. As you know, we can't change anything major, but there are things that we know that we can improve, and there's things that we still know that we can improve or make better to suit Ott in a better way. And fortunately, a lot of these things, they're not homologation related. So it's work in progress. In fairness, we're not where we want to be yet, but we're not too far away.
So if you could do something next week, Malcolm, one thing next week to make Ott Tänak a really happy man, if you had one part you could change, one thing you could develop, what would it be?
We'll just win this rally this weekend, and then he'll be happy.
I thought I was going to get it right. I thought you might let us into a wee secret about what it is, the direction you're going. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, there's many aspects, to be honest. You know, there's a lot of stuff on differentials, there's stuff on the engine. Engine stuff, in fairness, does require homologation, which we are working on. So that will, as much as we would like to do that very soon, obviously there's an homologation issue with that, so that's going to take a little bit longer. But a lot of the other stuff, it is stuff that we can do that it's not affected by homologation.
So please don't take this the wrong way, Malcolm. Please, because it's a question that has to be asked after those answers. You know, we know that this Rally 1 regulations, really, they almost encourage design philosophies as opposed to, designing by the actual, regulations. It was a philosophy that you employed. Do you think maybe you got that wrong last year, the philosophy, the design philosophy?
Well, I wouldn't have thought so, when considering we won Monte Carlo and Sébastien Ogier led every rally that he did with us. So I wouldn't think the design philosophy was wrong.
No, and I agree with that. I agree with that. But as you've said, there are major changes that Oit Tanak's looking for. So what can we say then? That Tanak, maybe his driving style didn't suit the design philosophy you went for?
No, I wouldn't say. It's not major changes. It's small things. You've got to remember, I mean, he won Sweden. So come on, guys. You know, there's not, let's be realistic here. We're talking very, very small detail things. But at the end of the day, what you've got to look at is when you look how competitive it is. There was a 26-kilometre stage in Sweden. There was 4 cars separated by 0.7 of a second. So, come on.
So there is nothing particularly wrong, and it is just down to the nuances of perhaps driving style, conditions, development that need to be perfect.
To be honest, a lot of it is, don't get me wrong, there are some things which are, they are specific and, they can be addressed, but a lot of it is getting the car to exactly suit Oit's driving style.
Well, we can see that, Malcolm, and you'll get there, we know that, because we saw similar things when Ogier joined the team. It took 3 or 4 rallies to get the car exactly to his liking. Is it a similar process you're going through?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's probably a bit more challenging than when we had Sébastien, but no, we know we will get there.
Rich, Croatia's an interesting rally. It's only been on the calendar a couple of years, but it's given us bundles of drama, lots to watch and lots to enjoy. What do you expect this weekend? What are we going to see? Are we going to see a 3-way battle with yourself, with the Hyundais and with Toyota this week?
I think we say it's a 3-way battle at most rallies now. But you're right, Croatia is probably one of the trickiest on the calendar. I think I came here, the first year I came here, I drove a few of the stages on the recce, and instantly you're like, this is a hard rally. You've got sections of road that can be 500 meters long with 6 different types of tarmac, and you've got really steep, fast downhill bits. You've got bits up in the mountains. You've got bits in the countryside. You've got cuts. The weather is often quite unpredictable. The cuts are very wet at the moment. Even if the rally dries out, there's a good possibility that it's going to be so tricky with cars pulling mud out on the road, and then there are bound to be showers this weekend, I'm sure, at some point. So you got the wrong tyre choice or whatever. I really like it. It's really exciting for that reason alone. I think the team love these kind of events where there's a lot of input from us from a tactical point of view on tyres and strategy. That's bringing everyone into it, and you have a completely dry rally. You kind of send the guys on their way, and that's it. But having this ability to do that on a tricky weather like here is great fun. So I think it'll be exciting.
I think it's reasonable to say, isn't it, that it is one of the more strategic rallies on the calendar these days because of the number of different factors and variables that come into it.
Yeah, I think if you think back to Germany, where we used to have 3 different days and 3 different types of conditions,
never boring.
No, it was never boring, and this is the same. So, like I say, it's one that I look forward to because you feel like at the end of the weekend, whoever gets the victory will be a worthy winner, and it makes you really feel like you've, as a team, have done the most you can to get that position.
So you're obviously. It's work in progress. The relationship with Oit and the car is very much work in progress. Are you looking for any particular conditions to give Oit that little bit of added advantage or help this weekend? Or do you think that no matter what happens, if we do have a complete dry rally, is he still capable of taking the car to the top step of the podium?
Yeah, I would hope. We're making progress all the time. The guys are working tremendously hard to fine-tune the car to Oit's likings, and there'll still be stuff to learn here because we're still in that phase of the calendar where we're going to the next event is different to all the ones we've already done. Okay, if it was totally dry here, it could be a bit more comparative to Monte Carlo this year. But I do think, like I say, you're going to have a lot more dirty roads and cuts here than Monte Carlo, so it's a different condition. I'm sure there'll still be some things for us to tweak and learn after this weekend, but we've got to look at the position we're in the calendar. You take in the championship, take away the disappointment in Mexico. We have been competitive on all the surfaces, so we'll still be okay here, I'm sure. But it will be another weekend where we're all learning and doing the best we can.
Oit obviously did that event in Belgium in preparation for this one. Did you come back from Belgium with a long list of things to look at? Was it worthwhile first up, and will it help him this weekend?
I think unless you have a long list, you're not got enough to do. So maybe the weather was a bit more extreme than we'd expected, but I think by the end of the day, it was quite interesting, and it was a good experience for Oit to to trial the car in those conditions, even if we don't have them here. Central European Rally later in the year, very good chance it could be very wet and muddy there. So, just having that kind of experience is good, and good for us to learn as well. And, from a sporting perspective, it was great to take a Rally 1 car to Belgium for people who hadn't seen one before with a top driver. I hope it brought a few more people out. And again, if we can attract a few more people into the sport from that, then fantastic for us all. So I think it ticked all the right boxes.
Well, let's hope you're ticking all the right boxes this weekend, Richard Millener. Thank you for your time.
No problem at all.
Adrien, great to see you back in WRC2. Last time we saw you in Mexico, the pace was great. We go back to Monte Carlo, you struggled a little bit on tarmac, or the car struggled a little bit on tarmac. Have you made any changes since Monte Carlo to the car in terms of the tarmac setup?
Yes, we will try to be a bit more aggressive with the setup of the car. We have also a new ramp homologated for this rally, so for the diffs. So we hope it will help us for this rally. We are using it actually, so let's see. So yeah, we are doing our best. For sure, the engine development will come later in the season, but actually we'll do our best. It's also a different rally, much more difficult, I would say, compared to the Monte Carlo this year, where it was full dry. Now we'll have more tire choice will be important at the right time, etc. The pace, the confidence in the mud, so it will be a bit different. So let's see where we can be.
It's going to be more strategic, isn't it, this rally? So maybe not just about ultimate pace, it's a little bit about strategy. So I think you have to go short. But if we can just answer that question about maybe a bit more about strategy.
Yeah, it will be more about strategy, about the tires, especially. It's first time now since a long time I don't have a gravel crew in the Rally 2 car, so yeah, we are not allowed actually. So it will be difficult. We cannot really predict what it will be on the stage. So I will trust the guys in the Rally 1 car. I hope I will get a bit of information. We will share it. I hope they will share it to me, and I hope I will use it for the advantage, I would say.
Well, Mexico was great. It was great to see you back at the top fighting in Mexico. Let's hope that you have the same form here. Best of luck.
Thank you.
So there we are, folks. I think the one thing we can take from those interviews is it's going to be a very testing weekend. Let's see how Rally Croatia unfolds.